Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy So-So, and welcome back to the channel. Make sure you're hitting that like, comment, and subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on those notifications. That way you guys get notified when we drop hits like this. This week on OnlyFans, it's week 5 as the Dolphins lose a tough game on the road in Carolina. We're looking for answers. Do they have them? We don't know, but it's time to take a ride, y'all. Let's go.
Yo, fans up in the building, rep the gear from toe to ceiling. 305 stays on the brim, by 95 we popping wheelies. On the way out to the rock, time to see the trio fly. OBJ, Tyreek, and Waddle, speed and swag solidifies. Tours Babby in the pocket, got my D coordinating with the Weaver operating. On the sideline formulating, strategizing for that dub. Let's get A-Train on the track. Chubbs and Ramsey, Phillips healthy, boy, we bout to crack some backs. Time to change the narrative, F off with all due respect. Criticism at its finest, break the cycle down the stretch. Top dog offense in the league, let's keep it going postseason. Bring that heat in cold weather, that's a Dade County reason. OnlyFans, presented by Sports with So-So. Presented by Sports with So-So.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is.
So you are wearing a Tua jersey
I am.
today, huh?
I am.
That's interesting because Dolphins lose, right, to the Panthers, 27-24 on the road. Tua, you can point to his stats and say he had a good game, right? Didn't turn over the ball, check. Objective number 1, right, with him. Didn't die on the field, check, check. This guy's 2 for 2 right here. Did he cost us the game? No, right? So everything that Tua could have done to not have us lose this game, he did, right? Played well, threw 2 touchdowns. But somehow, some way, it still falls on him because when the Dolphins need a game-winning drive, he just seems to come up a little short. And I don't know if it's a product of his mentality going into the fourth quarter or in those, game-winning situations, but I don't think it's fair to put the entirety of this loss on Tua, right?
That's the reason why I'm wearing it today, because there's a lot. I know there's a lot of naysayers. Even myself, I got away from my fandom in the beginning of the season. I mean, I know we're still at the beginning. It's only week 5, but
No, but the season's over, right?
I mean, it is pretty much over if you're a Dolphins fan. You know what I'm saying? But the first couple games, Tua came out looking like a rookie again, and it was like, man, this is the guy that I bought his jersey. You know what I mean? Like that I support. That I thought it was serviceable enough to be our franchise QB.
Right.
And he's improved there that much more since week 1, and then last week he loses his best receiver in Tyreek Hill, and everybody's wondering what's he going to do, how's he going to bounce back, and he bounces back 27-36, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, a QBR of 80.3 and a rating of 122.
Yeah.
Like you said, no mistakes. However, unfortunately for the kid, the loss is going to fall on his shoulders because we did get the ball back with 2 minutes and we couldn't generate a drive. And not because I'm going to put the blame on him. I know the greater public, the people that read headlines,
yeah, for sure,
right, that don't watch the game and just see the 10 seconds that SportsCenter puts on our game,
right?
The narrative that they spin is that Tua sold the game. And I want to sit here and tell you that Anthony Weaver, our defensive coordinator, and that entire defensive unit should be in the hot seat for this game in particular because they're who to blame. Yeah, we had a chance. You can make the argument. If it was Josh Allen, if it was another elite quarterback, they would have taken those 2 minutes, they would have drove down the field, they would have got what they needed out of it. Sure. In my opinion, the defense cost us this game, not Tua.
There's no doubt about that, right? And we'll touch on that subject later. But just to wrap up on Tua, right? And this is the part that sucks, right? Because in games like this, where you really didn't do anything wrong, right, you still get the blame for not being the guy to get the win, right? And even still, some of that doesn't necessarily really fall too much on him because McDaniels is a part of that, right? And that's what I want to get into. But yeah, it just shows you that Tua is not an elite quarterback. And I think we all know that, right? That's fair to say at this point. He's not an elite quarterback. Okay, cool. But we also have to try our best to put him into a position where he can succeed, right? Especially if we're going to commit the money and the time like we already did to him.
Right.
This is where I think McDaniels fell short on this game. And when we met up last week, dog, the main thing that I said was McDaniels has to show that he can put game plans together. He can go out there and close out games. He can go out there and get victories against other opponents when his team is playing well. And his quarterback played well, but he was unable to, again, put the drives in motion to close the game out. I hate that shit that when we're up on an opponent, I can already tell what's gonna come. H-Chan on the HB dive, H-Chan on the left, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, Tua trying to make a tough throw. Incomplete, punt the ball. Right? To trust a defense that hasn't been trustworthy. Right? So
I will say he did miss one big throw to Waddle there that would have had
he did.
The drive alive, kept the drive alive.
He did.
One of his few incompletions.
But that's the shit that we look at and be like, yeah, this is why you're not elite. Right? Because any other elite quarterback would have been like, oh, look at my guy right here wide open. Boom, on the money.
Yeah, because if you look at the mechanics, especially on that throw, and I'm not a quarterback
we're not
a QB coach or anything like that. But you just, from what you know, the little bit, right, you want to be firmly planted, right? You want to be turning through that ball, right? You don't want to be throwing off your back foot. You look at that pass he threw to Waddle, and he was like jumping in the air to try to get it over, I don't know who, and ended up overthrowing Waddle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand that argument, man.
And even still,
it
that
sucks
was on
for
a
the kid,
blown up play. Because that was on a blown up play because the defensive line got through, right? And they were into his face.
Right.
But again, that falls on McDaniels, right? To say, bro, I'm in control of this game. I'm up 2.5 touchdowns on these guys. Let's keep going. Let's keep attacking. The fact that Waller had a great first half and didn't exist in the second half lets me know that McDaniel was so concerned about not losing this game that he lost focus on what it took to win the game.
We absolutely stalled out coming out of the halftime. Third quarter, there was just no offense to be found.
Zero.
For the Dolphins.
Zero rhythm.
Until the fourth quarter when, we had the big play.
Yeah.
With 4 minutes left to Waddle, the bomb.
And even still on that throw, there are things that you look at and be like, man, a better quarterback would have put that
in the end zone.
In the end zone, right? A better line creates a better pocket. You know what I mean? Like, there were multiple things that you look at during that play.
It
like,
sucks though, bro. Like even on our highlight of the game, our one highlight, and there's still criticism for the guy, which is why I wore the jersey. You know what I'm saying? Because if nobody's gonna show my dog love,
it's not
I'm gonna
about,
at least say, bro, you know what? This one's not on you. It's not on you. This one wasn't on him. That's my point.
This one wasn't on him. But again, I think the bad taste, right, that lingers around Tua is not gonna be washed away. It's not going to be washed away. It's in there in Miami Dolphins fans' minds, hearts, feelings for the rest of their eternity.
Of course, because he's the driver. He's driving the vehicle, so to speak, on the field.
Now, people are looking at McDaniel and saying, you're fool's gold. Because you came with a lot of heat, and now we don't see anything innovative. We don't see anything creative. Nothing. Fool's gold. Right? And we burned Mike McDaniels for his lack of awareness during the game planning, especially in-game management. Right? There's no way you come out on the road and you're that fucking flat. There's no way, especially against a team that bad. And you need a win, cuz. McDaniels, right? Cool. Third guy here. You mentioned Anthony Weaver, defensive coordinator. Granted, he doesn't have, let's say, top-tier talent, right? Top-tier talent on that position.
Can you elaborate? What position? Top tier talent where?
Cornerback. Let's say cornerback.
Okay.
Right? Cornerback.
Okay.
This goes back to what are you doing as a coach to prepare the team and the players to be as efficient as possible? We're going with a 3-man rush up front. We're not creating any type of pressure. Guy sticks with it. Then he decides to get smart about it and say, you know what? Let me blitz. Because I can't get to the quarterback because I'm rushing 3 guys and my 3 guys aren't massive guys moving the line back, right? Let me blitz. And every time we blitz, Bryce Young, who's, again, not an elite quarterback, not even a top 15 quarterback, maybe not even a top 20 quarterback, right? But we make this guy look like he can stand in the pocket, take his time, make a read, make a throw. And he beat Rasul Douglas like 3 times in a row, because we're playing that zone coverage where the blitz is coming. So then I look at Anthony Weaver and I'm like, bro, They're saying that if Mike gets fired, you're gonna be the interim coach. I'm like, there's no way you're gonna be here, cuz, to be the interim coach, because you have the NFL's worst defense. Mm-hmm. The NFL's worst defense, dog. Right. Where teams that don't necessarily put up points on anybody are able to not only run the ball on us, because we gave up 200 yards to one guy, hasn't been done in God knows how long. Go look up that stat, right? And this is where we were supposed to be our strongest, on the defensive line, on the defensive front, and we haven't seen any of that. All we've seen is sporadic good plays. Sporadic good plays. I'll give you one. Chubb, first quarter, things are going great for the Dolphins, right? Everything's moving. Comes up with the strip sack, gets the strip, gets the fumble, puts the Dolphins in good positions. Boom. I'm like, oh man, look at this. The defense is actually making that team look bad. And that was the last good play we had on defense. That was it.
23 carries, 206 yards, 1 touchdown, longest run 53 yards, averaged 9 yards on the ground. Is this, as my boy Rob just said a little while ago, Walter Payton?
No. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Not even the starting running back of the Carolina Panthers that did that to us, dog.
Yeah.
The running back, Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Put up over 200 yards on the ground. Doug, that's why, again, I wore this because I wanted to say, no, this is a statement. It wasn't your fault, bro. You had a chance to win the game, but the defense cost us this game.
Absolutely.
How do we let up 200 yards on the ground, dog?
Yeah.
To a backup running back, so?
No, especially when you're up. You're up.
And when you have the D-line, that's why I wanted you to specify where our weakness was, because we know our weakness is in the secondary. We lose Jalen Ramsey. We lose Xavier Howard. We don't really make any crazy, offseason splash in those positions. Minkah Fitzpatrick, arguably, is probably the biggest one.
I think we are, because we brought him in on a trade because we needed something back.
Exactly. So it was kind of the result of, something we didn't want to lose entirely there. But we loaded up on the defensive line. We got healthy guys now. We got Jalen Phillips, right? We got Zach Sealer. We got Brad Chubb, right? We got Chop Robinson. We got the guy we just signed that you were scratching your head going, why did we sign this guy? Matthew Judon. We got all these guys and a bad Carolina Panther team, and they put up 200 yards on the ground on us.
And we were getting ran over.
Brother,
not like, he hit like 2-3 big runs and he got a majority of the yardage like that in chunk plays. Nah, this dude was not only running through the defensive line, right? Because the first contact is coming 4 yards after the line of scrimmage. He's also running over our linebackers. He's running over our cornerbacks. He's running over our safeties.
That was the inherent issue on Sunday, man. The defense. We couldn't tackle. The schemes were terrible. They were picking us apart. Any zone we ran, bro, they knew exactly where we were going to be and just dropped it in all the little open spots just to get those chunk plays and those first downs.
And we
couldn't adjust. Whose fault is that? The defensive coordinators.
And that's such a poor job, dog. Bro. He did such a poor job of, again, not adjusting, not only in game, Jay, but like realistically coming in with a plan of attack to say, hey, this is how we're going to get after Bryce Young. This is how other teams have done it. This is how we're going to do it. Forget my way. This is the way that is deemed successful here, right? And the tape shows it. Let's go do it that way. I was listening to the radio this morning, and it dawned on me like, dog, we don't switch up nothing. It's the same zone coverage every single time. It's the same rush up front. We don't even really switch up the formation sometimes and be like, all right, let's go 4 linemen. No, dude, everything is 3-4, 3-4, 3-4. I'm like, dog, switch it up. It's not working. Switch it up. You have to do something, especially if you're a guy that came in here with hype. You came in here with the idea, this is how I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make this a tough defense. We're not going to be nonsense. Blase, blase, blase. Now you got to go out there and perform, and you're putting up dog shit performances week after week after week, dog. Nah, man. And look, I know we had an interception in the game, right? Great. But that was Bryce Young being Bryce Young.
Yeah.
That's not a fucking amazing play that one of our corners made. It was a gimme. Right? If we're being honest, it was a gimme. So where is this defense trying to level up at to make an impact in games? Because I'm having a hard time seeing it. I'm really having a hard time seeing it. And that was one of the main things that I touched on earlier in the season or during the preseason, right around draft time. Hey, Joel, the guys that we draft, These people have to play. They have to be in the lineup. They have to be making moves. They got to be contributing. We haven't seen shit from our rookies. We're 5 weeks in. We haven't seen shit from those two defensive tackle rookies, defensive ends. Nothing. And even Chop's been extremely quiet. Something is wrong. It's not the talent. I'm 100% positive that those guys are talented football players. It has to be the scheme. It has to be the coaching. I asked somebody today on the telephone. I'm going to make you the same question. Who have you, forget about defense, right? We know
like
that.
How you said, I spoke to someone on the telephone.
Yeah, right?
For some reason, I pictured you going, hold on a second.
That's the type of phone I have. I like being old school.
Hello?
Hello? We have a collect call from. Yo, so. You know what I'm talking about.
What's the question?
We know that the defensive players have not leveled up. Anthony Weaver has not leveled up any of the defensive players, right? Everybody that's came in has been good on their own accord, right? Granted, he was only been here a year and a half. Cool. Mike McDaniel's on the other hand, right? He's been here 4 years now, right? Name me one player that Mike McDaniel has personally elevated as far as his development goes. That's not Tua, because Tua, I think that no, and I tell you not Tua, not because he didn't elevate him, because he reached his peak quick. In that first year of McDaniel, Tua was like, oh, look how good I can be, boom. And then after that, stagnant, and maybe even a little bit down.
Sure. If I had to name one player that I think, I don't know, I'm not in the locker room, so this is really just from an outsider's perspective of a fan, casual fan. Maybe Waddle, I would say.
Maybe, but even still, he was a first-round draft pick. You would expect him to be a top 10 wide receiver, top 15 wide receiver in the NFL today.
Sure.
Is he? He's not. He's not.
He has the potential. We're on the subject.
He had a
he's had Tyreek Hill on the other side as the one.
Yes, and he's also been injury prone.
First game without Tyreek Hill, he went 6 catches on 9 targets, 110 yards, and then 1 46-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Bomb.
Great. But that was the first game that we've seen him have like that in a long time, including last year.
But he has it. He has the potential to be that good.
Can he do it consistently, regardless of what's happening at quarterback? Because I look at a guy like Justin Jefferson, who was also a first-round draft pick, right? First-round draft pick, and he goes out there and balls regardless of
he's
who's
a top 3 receiver.
Hey, whatever. What I'm saying is that if you're a top talented wide receiver, you are overcoming whatever the obstacles are in your way in order for you to produce, right? Not every top wide receiver has an awesome quarterback behind it. None of the wide receivers in Kansas City are good wide receivers, but Mahomes makes it do what it do, right? Okay. Now, the one person who we know is the most talented or has been playing the most consistent on this offense is Achane. And I would say that Achane is a product of him being one of the best running backs in the league. Regardless of whatever system team that you want to put him on right now today, he would do good, real good. And he would still produce the same, if not more.
So you think Achane is the one that has been directly benefited the most from McDaniel's development as a coach?
I don't think he's developed, benefited from the development. I'm saying that he was going to be a stud no matter what. No matter which coach was there, no matter what team he was on, he's one of those guys that you look at and you're like, yeah, he does magic when he has the football. Because he catches the ball, he runs it, he can knock guys down when he's running. Like, Achane can do it all.
He can.
And I really doubted him coming into the season because I doubted his durability, not his talent.
Sure.
Talent-wise, he's a top 5 running back, top 10 player for sure in the NFL.
But it begs the question, so why, if he is that, and we know him to be such, such an impact, why did he only have 10 carries for 16? I repeat, not 60, not 60.
Yeah, 1-6.
16 yards.
Wow.
In a full game of football that he played.
Yeah.
90+% of the snaps. Because he's in there every single play for the most part.
Ollie Gordon didn't even barely ran the ball.
He gets in every now and again, but it's clear cut and dry. I mean, Achane did have 6 catches on 7 targets for 30 yards and a touchdown. That's where his touchdown came from. But, man, why? That's an inherent issue. The same way that our defense, right, not being able to get a stop on 3rd and 5 when we need it, 4th and 5 when we need it.
Yeah.
the fact that our star player on offense is only getting 10 attempts at running the ball.
Yeah.
When I've talked about it on this show, we got to win the battle of the clock.
Yeah.
They beat us 31-28 this game.
Mm-hmm.
They controlled the clock. We need to run the ball to control the clock. Dog, 10 runs is not going to do it. 16 yards on the ground, you're not controlling the game at that point. I don't care. I don't care if you're up. I don't care if you're tied. You're not controlling the game.
No, forget about that. You're not committed. You're not committed to putting the football in the hands of your best player. You're not committed. Because he's not a fucking wide receiver. You can't keep throwing it to
But they still keep using him like that, which is wild, dog.
I know that, but that's what I'm saying. That shows you the limitations or the mental roadblock that McDaniel is in right now. Because there's no way that he's thinking clearly, throwing it to this guy just as often as you're running it to him. No, dude, you need to give this guy the ball 20 times because that's the time that he's been the most effective for you.
Yeah.
Every single time.
You can make the argument, oh, he did that in San Francisco. That's what they do out there with Cal Shanahan. They use the running backs. Look at McCaffrey. Yeah, McCaffrey will get 5-6 targets a game and catches and gets 60, 70 yards or whatever. He's also getting 15 to 20 attempts. I mean, maybe not nowadays. Now that he's a little bit older, hurt.
Now even more so now because Purdy was hurt. So they're trying to run
setting
the ball
that
more.
up.
Yeah.
They're setting up the run. They're run first, pass second, and that's not who we are, bro.
No.
Like we really don't have an identity except for a losing identity.
Yeah.
And it sucks, bro. It's starting to weigh down on everybody. But when what's gonna have to happen is a complete overhaul, bro. You and I both know that. Not one piece can go. It can't be that Tua just goes and McDaniel and Greer stay. It can't be that McDaniel goes and Tua and Greer stay. Everybody's gotta go.
Yeah.
Hasta Steven Ross, sell the team, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Because we talked about it plenty of times, and it's evident that some of these football owners, dog, they're only in it for the money, and that's okay because at the end of the day, it is a business, right? It is a business. Go ahead and be profitable, but don't stunt on your fans. Like if you're trying to do everything you can, don't make the place pretty and do a bunch of stuff and have cool uniforms and all that shit if the product on the field is going to be ass. Right? If the product on the field is going to be ass, like, we rather not have that.
Yeah.
Right? We rather not have that.
No, man, especially like this again, bro, I hate the phrase, bro. I hate the idiom. Same old Dolphins.
Yeah.
Because this was it, bro. Because I was talking to somebody yesterday watching football, and we were watching the Jets, and we were like, man, the Jets are so bad. Thank goodness that we at least have the Jets.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't, we would be the worst team in football. But instead, we're the 31st.
No, and we don't even know how to properly suck on purpose or lose on purpose. Because this is the year that everybody else decides to be 1-4 also.
Yeah, but the draft
like
next
5
year.
teams. Yeah, exactly my point. Where you can be like, it doesn't even, but where you tell yourself, all right, top 3 pick, I'll solidify at least one big part of my team, right? That I'm desperately missing, and probably won't even get a chance to do that. And this is the sad part. This is why I wore my black shirt today, because this season is over. Being 1-4, it's a wrap. There's no chance of you making the playoffs. Forget about wild card. Forget about winning, 8 games, because now that's going to be even harder. A lot of talk of people being like, oh, but this is a winnable game. No, we are the winnable game right now on the schedule. We are the winnable game. You mentioned it. It needs to be a complete overhaul. And at this point, doing things or changing things right now has zero impact. The only thing it allows you to do is clean out those offices earlier, right? And start your search. But if you're a smart owner, right, or if you're Stephen Ross and you're putting people in position to go find those replacements, then you're putting them in position right now. And you're lighting them up and saying, hey, go find me the next hot up-and-coming GM. Go find me the coach. Go see who's candidates. Go see who's going to be on the radar for defensive coordinator positions. Let's start doing all that homework now. Because we know that shit is going to be a wrap in the next couple of weeks. Because let's look at Just for shits and giggles, right? Just for shits and giggles. I'm going to give you guys our next 3 games.
Well, coming up first, we have the Chargers.
Playing Sunday at home against the Chargers, that's probably a loss. Even though the Chargers just lost, they're going to be coming in here and looking for a win desperately,
They're
right?
a much better team.
Correct. And then we go on the road to face Cleveland, and then the following we go to Atlanta on the road again.
Also, 2 struggling teams that at this point now is going to be a coin flip.
Anybody who's a delusional Dolphin will say, those are winnable games for us.
That was the initial thought that popped in my head when you said those.
And then you realize the truth about your team, and you're like, probably not.
We just lost to the Panthers. while the Bills got upset by the Patriots.
And Gabriel looked good for the Browns on Sunday. And that's the team that we're going to face afterwards. Herbert is going to figure out something, right? Like, we can't cover people. Keenan Allen's going to have a field day on us. It's going to be weird on Sunday. It's going to be weird because we're going to feel extremely upset. We're going to feel extremely desperate, and there's no real answers. So that's why I want to preach to you guys, have patience, right? Use this show as an outlet for you guys. Drop comments, repost it, share it with your friends, argue about it, because what we need to start thinking about is the 2026-2027 season.
Bro, we can't keep doing this every year, bro. We can't keep trying to look forward to the next season, dog. Like, it's getting old. It's getting old.
Well,
I think the solution is simple for me.
Unfortunately, we don't have the people in place to build it. We don't. We haven't had it.
That's why we need one man and one man only to turn this franchise around, and his name is John Gruden.
I don't even think he's the right answer.
I think so, bro. I think you get that guy in here and we get some hard-nosed football. I'll tell you what, man.
No, I don't doubt his ability. I don't doubt his ability. What I doubt is if it would work here. Because it would rub. And a lot of people wouldn't like it. And I don't know if Ross would put up with that. Because for him right now, the Miami Dolphins is about the bottom line. The cash,
but the bottom line is that the Dolphins are going to make money no matter what. They're an institution.
Then there you go.
But if you want to stop being the laughingstock as far as the owners, right, that can't get shit together.
He's not the laughingstock.
You got to go out and get the right guy.
He's not the laughingstock because he's number 7 on the top.
He's up there, bro.
Top 10. No.
He's up there.
No chance, because what he's going to do is go to that. Huh?
Who else? What other owners catch the kind of scrutiny you think that ours does?
Giants, Jets, Browns for sure. Atlanta for sure for making those moves. Who else? Cowboys, that's for damn sure. Out in Arizona, that's for damn sure. Saints is another one. There are teams out there, dog.
Fair. You
There are
came
teams
a
out
lot
there.
more than I thought you would.
All right, there you go.
I thought those were all pretty good ones.
But we're in that position
But we're in there
too.
too.
But we're in that position too. So don't feel
But
that
again,
bad.
the owner is just supposed to fund it, right? They're not the brains of the operation. And again, as much as I hate it because this is the product of all the work he's done, he has drafted good pieces. He has put together good pieces as far as Greer goes. But then it comes down to the culture in the locker room and on the field. And even though McDaniel's the protege, the wonder kid or whatever, we thought he was going to be maybe the guy. It was an experiment that we see did not create a proper culture in that Miami locker room, dude. And we're seeing it transpire on the field week in and week out.
Here's the difference, Joel, with our teams, right? With this franchise, they have shown over and over again an inability to do what you just said. Our other two franchises, mainly the Panthers and the Heat, they don't have a problem doing that. The Panthers, Bill Zito says something's not working, whoosh, wipe it. Hey, we didn't reach the pinnacle, whoosh, let's start over again. Yeah, we may use a lot of the same pieces, but we're revisioning, we're reimagining what the winning culture, what the winning road takes like. Pat Riley has done it for 40 years. The Dolphins don't know how to do that. They haven't figured out how to set themselves up in order to be a successful franchise. Now, that's not to say that the Dolphins haven't been money generating, business. They absolutely have. Even with this owner, the previous owner, and the previous owner. There hasn't been not one owner of the Dolphins that hasn't made a fucking pretty penny, right, on this team. However, that doesn't mean that their love for football is tied into the Miami Dolphins. Because if it was, like we see with the other two franchises, if it was, the commitment to the standard would be there. And right now, we don't have a standard, so there can't be a commitment to it. How do we build that standard? Who knows? Maybe it's John Gruden, maybe it's somebody else. We don't know.
Sometimes it just takes one person.
It takes one person.
And you just said it, like a Pat Riley that's been around the game forever. I mean, bro, John Gruden is football. You know what I mean? And you see it when we're working at Barstool right now, and you can tell that guy wants to be coaching.
Yeah, but that's like saying hey, the Tom Brady thing would have worked for sure.
No, but it would have been cool to see, though.
But this is the best quarterback of all time.
It would have been cool to see.
But this is the best quarterback of all time, right? We
would have ruined him.
We would have ruined him.
He never would have won.
And I don't know if it would have worked here.
No, it wouldn't.
Same thing with John Gruden. I don't know if it would work here. And there's no slight on Gruden.
Yeah, we just want something different at this point. So
it's just we don't know what it'll take.
You'll take Belichick?
I don't know what the fuck I'll take.
Would you take Belichick?
I don't know.
Would you take Belichick?
Chuck, is that dog? I'm telling you for real.
My name is not Chuck, it's Joel. Would you take Bill Belichick to be the head coach of the Dolphins?
I will take him, dog, because I don't know if it would work with the GM. I don't know if the owner of the fucking Dolphins would have a problem with him being there or how he wants to run shit. I don't know that. Because a guy, to answer your question, a guy like Belichick isn't going to play by the rules. He's not going to play by the owner's rules. He's going to say, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Is that going to work? Is that guy willing to give him a check and say, yeah, come here and do whatever the fuck you want? We don't know, dog. The one thing because Ross hasn't had to hire anybody. Remember, this would be the first hire that he makes realistically when it comes to GM. Because Greer was an assistant GM. And he brought him in and said, yeah, this guy's going to retire. He doesn't want to be here anymore, so we're going to bring you in. He didn't hire nobody, dog. So we don't know what this guy is doing. How deep is he in the trenches when it comes to the Dolphins business? We don't know. This is the shit that we're going to have to answer in the next couple of weeks, right? As we figure out what happens with the rest of the season. Obviously, there'll be great days when the Dolphins win and they pull the victory out and we're like, oh shit, look what could have been, right? Look what could have been. But realistically, we know that we're looking at a lot more losses during the season.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, to loop it all together, there's a lot more questions than answers with this team right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot more questions than answers in this team.
Yeah.
Some of the answers are very clear, right? People gotta go no matter what at the end of the season or by week 8. You do your whatever you want, halfway point, whatever. But we know that much. But how that transpires and how that works out, we don't know. But we want you guys along for the ride. Like I said, use this as an outlet to, grieve your problems with the Dolphins, what you guys should think what the Dolphins should do. We're always interested to get your thoughts, so make sure you guys are leaving comments and talking to people about it, man, and letting them know that So and Joel are right there with you. You know what I mean?
We're all on the same ledge together. We're just going to keep each other accountable, pressed up against this wall. We're not going nowhere.
That's it, man. OnlyFans, baby. You know what to do. You got to tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell another friend.
To tell everybody they know.
To tell everybody they know about OnlyFans, baby. Shout out to my dog Empire Boutique for the drip. You know what you got to do. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. And more importantly, turn on the notifications. Until next time. Peace.